just may notice that I'm at the range for this opener, which is not my usual way of beginning a gun review. Today, however, I am shooting a special little .22 caliber pistol, the Beretta M9 semi-automatic pistol .22 long rifle, which is made in Germany by Umarex for Beretta. If you own a 92 FS or M9, the M9 .22 is an excellent stand-in as a perfect training tool and a tribute to one of the most iconic handguns in history. Even if you don't own a Beretta 92 FS or M9, the M9 .22 will still fill a need for plinking, introducing new shooters to the world of pistol shooting, or to have an all-around fun gun to shoot that has a cool factor attached to it. So, come along with me as I fill you in on the details of the M9 .22. Specifications for the M9 .22 include single and double action operation. The pistol has a barrel length of 4.9 inches. It is chambered for .22 long rifle only. The grip width is 1.3 inches and the pistol comes with one magazine, a 15 round or 10 round. The overall height is 5.5 inches with an overall length of 8.5 inches while yielding an overall width of 1.52 inches. The sight radius is 6.1 inches and the unloaded weight is 26.08 ounces. The M9 .22 features a combat trigger guard with finger rest. Like the M9, it is an open slide design. It exhibits military-style markings. It has an external hammer and an ambidextrous decocking safety lever. The sight system is a conventional dot and post design. And finally, the magazine release is reversible. Let's get through the safety check first. Remove the magazine. Lock the slide back with the slide lock lever. Inspect the chamber, magazine, and magazine well to ensure that no live rounds are present. Once the pistol passes inspection, slowly lower the slide to the chambered position and press the safety decocking lever down to decock the firearm. Inserting an empty magazine is optional. Operation is a simple blowback design with a fixed barrel, unlike that of the parent pistol, the M9, which has a falling block locking system, and which the barrel moves slightly to the rear and down to accommodate chambering of a fresh cartridge. Aside from caliber, this is only one feature that is different from the M9. Like the M9, the pistol is a double-action, single-action pistol, and the action mimics that of the M9, whereas the double-action trigger pull weight feels like the M9, as does the single-action trigger pull. The slide-mounted decocker safety lever also mimics that of the M9. If the hammer is cocked, push the decocker safety lever down to safely decock the hammer. Like the M9, leaving the decocker safety lever in the down position disconnects the trigger. You must manually push the lever into the fire position to connect the trigger. The decocking safety lever, like that on the M9, is ambidextrous, meaning that it is found on both sides of the pistol. Upon firing, the pressure developed by combustion gas recoils the slide assembly. After a short run of the slide assembly, the barrel remains in place while the slide stops against the frame. The slide, during its rearward movement, extracts and ejects the fired cartridge case, cocks the hammer, and activates the recoil spring. Pushed by the recoil spring, the slide then moves forward, feeding the next cartridge from the magazine into the chamber and causing barrel to slide locking. Now, let's take a quick look at the upper, the slide assembly. The upper slide assembly consists of the conventional 3-dot sight arrangement, barrel, captive recoil spring and guide, safety, and the internals that assist in making the projectile leave the barrel, extract the spent cartridge, and discard the spent cartridge from the firearm. Obviously, the firing pin is for rimfire ammunition rather than for centerfire ammunition. A second front sight is delivered with the pistol that is shorter than the installed front sight. The slide is aluminum, unlike its bigger brother that has a steel, phosphatized, and Bruniton-coated slide. The polymer lower houses the fire control group, lockback on last round lever assembly, the takedown assembly, and magazine release button. Provisions are incorporated into the pistol to help guide the magazine into place within the magazine well. The M922 does not have a magazine safety, meaning that the pistol will fire with the magazine removed. Although the frame is polymer, aluminum rails provide the means for the upper slide to, well, slide. The grip handles attach to the frame just like its bigger brothers and can be replaced if one desires. I did desire a change for aesthetic purposes, and the grip handles were exchanged with a set of wood grip handles from Cool Hand Grips. The replacement grips have a thickness of 1/4 inch and are slightly thinner than the original factory ones, but given that the grip width of the M922 is the same as that of the M9, thinner is a little better. One caution when installing the grip panels is that since the frame is polymer, caution must be exercised when tightening the grip screws. As with most European pistols with aluminum frames, like the CZ75, excessive tightening of the grip screws could strip the threads from the frame. And if you strip the threads, you will not only utter many expletives, but will also have to figure out how to make the stripped threads, well, threadable. The M922 is available in 10-round and 15-round versions, although the latter is difficult to find and expensive when found. My version is the 10-round version, and I am okay with that, as the purpose of this pistol is not for prolonged firefights. I ordered 2 additional 10-round magazines when I ordered the pistol, and those will fill the need for general target shooting. The M922 is, after all, simply a substitute for staying familiar with my Beretta 92 FS and M9, with regard to size anyway. Disassembly, cleaning and lubrication, and assembly are essentially the same as that for the M9, with 2 caveats, which I will mention. Let's begin by taking this little critter apart. Disassembling the M922 pistol is straightforward. Perform a safety check, as was previously presented. Decock the pistol and remove the magazine. While holding the pistol in one hand, come over top of the slide with the other hand. With the forefinger, press the disassembling latch release button in, and with the thumb, Rotate the disassembling latch clockwise and down until it stops. One caveat in the disassembly process is that rotating the lever downward can be contentious when the pistol is new, as it is stiff, but it does get a bit easier as the pistol breaks in. Remove the slide assembly with the barrel and captivated recoil spring and guide off of the lower frame. Slightly press the recoil spring and spring guide forward toward the muzzle. Lift the captivated spring guide and recoil spring from its resting place in the barrel, while letting the latter stretch slowly out from the slide assembly. Remove the barrel from the slide. This is as far as you need to disassemble the pistol for cleaning and lubrication. As far as cleaning and lubrication, I leave that up to you, but with the advisement to follow the manufacturer's recommendations for such. Once the pistol is properly cleaned and lubricated, it's time to assemble it. Assemble the pistol while following the field stripping procedure in reverse order. Insert the barrel into the frame and lock into place. The barrel should rest perfectly flush against the slide. The extractor must lodge in its groove in the barrel. Install the recoil spring and guide. The recoil spring guide head should lodge in the center of its groove in the locking block. Assemble the frame and slide assembly. Rotate the disassembly latch counterclockwise upward to secure the frame and slide assembly. When rotating the disassembly latch, the slide should be in the closed position, aligned with or beyond the rear side of the frame. A caveat in the assembly process is that you may note that the barrel may not come back with the slide. This can prevent the disassembly latch to not move. The recoil spring and guide assembly must be perfectly positioned to allow the disassembly latch to move upward to lock the barrel assembly to the frame. Moving the lever back into the locked position may be difficult when the pistol is new, but does become easier as the pistol breaks in. As with any .22 caliber rimfire firearm, you should restrict dry firing as much as possible. To check functioning, I use snap caps to lessen damage to the pistol, and Beretta agrees with me.
If you want to practice aim and trigger pull, insert a fired cartridge case or dummy cartridge into the chamber to cushion the fall of the firing pin and eliminate the chance of firing pin breakage.
To function check the M9 .22, first, lock the slide fully to the rear. Install several snap caps into the magazine. Install the magazine into the magazine well. Pull the slide to the rear and release, chambering a snap cap. The hammer will be cocked. Press the decock safety lever completely down. The hammer will fall and the spring-loaded lever will return to the fire position. Press the safety lever to the fully down position. When the pistol is new, this may take some effort, but does become easier as the pistol breaks in. Pull the trigger. The trigger should be fully disconnected. Push the safety to the off position, where the red dot is exposed. Again, this may take some effort when the pistol is new. Pull the trigger. The trigger should engage, the hammer should move rearward, and then release. Pull the hammer rearward until it locks into the firing position. The pistol is now in the single action mode. Again, pull the trigger. You will experience some free travel until the trigger is engaged. Pull the trigger fully to the rear and the hammer will fall. Pull the slide completely to the rear. The snap cap should extract and be ejected from the firearm. Inspect the snap cap to ensure proper indentation of the rim by the firing pin. Repeat this process several times to ensure proper functioning. The slide will lock back on an empty magazine. Remove the magazine, pull the slide to the rear, and slowly release it forward. Press the decock safety lever to decock the pistol. Insert the empty magazine and the pistol is ready for storage or other operations. I would like to add a note about decocking the pistol. It has been used by 1911 operators for ages, and that is to manually lower the hammer. With the hammer in the cocked position, point the pistol in a safe direction. Pinch the hammer between the thumb and forefinger. From here, there are two methods that can be used. Pull the trigger completely or pull and then release the trigger. While firmly holding the hammer, press and hold the trigger in. Using the thumb and forefinger, slowly lower the hammer. This places the hammer in the decocked position. The second method involves pulling and then releasing the trigger. While firmly holding the hammer between the thumb and forefinger, press and then release the trigger. Using the thumb and forefinger, slowly lower the hammer to the safety notch, which is just before the decocked hammer position. What the second method does is lessen the amount of trigger engagement travel needed to fire in double action mode, while the total trigger travel remains the same as when in the decocked position. It takes less effort to fire the pistol. This is my preferred carry method with the Beretta 92FS and M9 and also the CZ and 6 Hour pistols. There will be simply a little freer play in the trigger before it engages, but not as much as in single action mode. At the range, the pistol shoots like a .22 caliber pistol, with very light recoil being the main attribute. The M9 feels just like its bigger brothers, a bit hefty, but with just enough heft to tell you that you are not shooting a toy pistol. When fired in double action mode, the trigger has a long and heavy travel until the hammer drops. In single action mode, there is some take-up until the action engages. After resistance is felt, the trigger pull is light and the brake is crisp, with little to no over travel. Trigger reset is not short, but it is not long either. The sighting system is not the best, but it is not the worst. The painting of the front sight with fluorescent green helped these aging eyes to see it, and it lends a nice contrast to the white rear dot sights. I was shooting CCI Mini-Mags 40 grain plated round nose and a Gia Interceptor hollow point 40 grain just to see if the M922 would pass this ammunition without malfunction. As far as embellishments, the grip panels were replaced simply for my viewing and holding pleasure. Otherwise, they make no functional improvements to the pistol. I also painted the front sight dot with a fluorescent green acrylic paint to add contrast to the front sight, which provides, for me at least, a clearer view of the front sight. I am far from claiming that the Beretta M9 22 is the best .22 caliber pistol on the market. There are many better .22 caliber pistols available in construction, finish, capacity, etc. Coming to the immediate mind is the Ruger Mark IV series, the Smith & Wesson Victory, Taurus TX22, and even the Glock 44. So, why bother with the Beretta Umarex M9 22? For one, it has that cool factor, with mimicking the Beretta 92 FS that has been clowned by Hollywood in an overabundance of films, and, of course, the M9 that has served our military since 1985, and despite being replaced with the Sig Sauer M17 and M18, is still in service today. For new shooters, it would be a good choice to develop pistol shooting techniques in a low recoil platform. For experienced pistol operators, the M9 22 could be just a fun gun at the range or plinking. For owners of the Beretta 92 FS or M9, it could serve as a familiarization substitute that can cheaply send rounds downrange in the age of rising ammunition cost. I have read a couple of reports stating that the firing pin and/or decocking safety mechanism had broken and that parts could not be found, as they were discontinued. I have found repair parts at Midwest Gunworks, and since the M9 22 uses Beretta parts, the safety mechanism can still be found. I did locate a firing pin for the M9 22 at the Primary Tactical website, and I have ordered one to have a running spare on hand. Overall, the Beretta M9 22 is just a pistol to have fun with, and with a fairly low out-the-door cost. Yes, there are conversion kits that can turn your Beretta 92 FS or M9 into a .22 caliber pistol. For me, I see no reason to muck up a perfectly fine handgun with filth delivered by .22 caliber ammunition. It's worth it to me to have a dedicated factory-made handgun for the caliber. The .22 conversion kit for the Beretta 92F can be found at the Beretta site for $335 and through BowTac for $229. I purchased the Beretta M9 22 for $369, and I do not have to swap stuff out just to shoot a .22 caliber long rifle round out of a pistol that I rely on as an EDC. And that's all I have to say about that. As always, I thank you for staying, listening, and watching my story. There will be other gun and gear reviews coming your way, and I hope that you will join me for them. In the meantime, stay safe out there.